I almost forgot. All right, so we have a little bit of a busy day today because we're working really hard on our quoting. And I looked a lot yesterday and I realized that a lot of us still are not understanding what we mean by our explicit quoting. Okay, so we're going to work a little bit on that today, and then we're going to start working on our article that we're going to use to write that paper that I said we were working towards for the end of the week. So we're going to start our morning off playing a Nearpod. So I'm going to ship this out to you so you guys can get it. So go ahead and refresh your Google Classroom if you were already in it. If you were not in it, go ahead and get that open. So it's under the 8:30. It says Wednesday Nearpod review, race review. You just want to open the Nearpod for now. Just want the Nearpod open for now. Give me a thumbs up when you have that open. Oh, Isaac lost a tooth. That's funny. I read a book last night to my little two about the tooth fairy and how to catch the tooth fairy. Now you can try to catch the tooth fairy. Sayla, don't give me that look. All right, thumbs up when you have your Nearpod. Awesome, awesome. Okay, here we go.
Just my lab.
Yeah.
For some reason, I just answered all the things that we had to do.
You what?
I don't know. Like, it won't let me type in anything. I don't know if I submitted it or something.
For the Nearpod?
Do we answer the question that popped up?
No. Not yet. Hold on. All right. There we go. I had messed with it yesterday, so it was starting off in a weird spot. All right. So you guys should see. Let me know if you see the video with the person standing there and it says Wednesday review Nearpod at the bottom. Let me know that you're on that slide. Everybody's on that slide. James, did you exit out and go back in?
I'm on the video.
All right. So first thing, we're going to review this video we watched the other day. It's a short one, so everybody should be playing this video first. Do not move on without me. Do not move on without me.
Let's talk about a skill that...
So they're playing it on their computers because I put it... Okay. Okay. All right, before I move to the next slide. So remember, no text evidence means you're making an empty claim. Remember that I said, if you don't give something from the text and let us know it's from the text, then we don't know if you know what you're talking about. That is why we quote from our text. So we can show we know what we're talking about. All right, next slide. Here we go. All right, this is a collaboration board. Why do we quote? Why it is important to explicitly quote from the text. Why is it important to explicitly quote from the text? Get those answers in there.
Miss McNabb,
Yes.
what are we doing?
You need to go in your Google Classroom and join the Nearpod that we're in.
Okay.
Why do we quote? What is important about quoting in our writing? Thank you, Emma. It is important to quote from the text because when you answer, you need evidence. So you find a quote that supports it. Perfect. It is important to quote when you're writing a paragraph or typing a paragraph because it tells you directly what it is from the story. Perfect. Good. Good, good, good. Ooh, I like your picture, Joseph. We quote so we can get evidence from the text. Rylan, good. We quote from the text so our readers know that it is proof that we got our answers from the text. Perfect, exactly. Emily, it's important to explicitly quote from the text because when you answer, you need text evidence to support it. Perfect. Something to back it up. Exactly, James. You're giving something to back it up, to back up your claim. Show your evidence. Good. Ooh, nice picture, Zach. We cite or use quotes so that people know what we are talking about and give our evidence. Good, Peyton. It is important to explicitly quote from the text because it tells you more things about the text and show your evidence. Good. Jaylene, I love that you use that vocabulary word explicitly. We've talked a lot about that this week. Awesome use of explicitly. It is important to quote because when you answer, you need text evidence to support your answer. Perfect. All right, you guys are on it today. I love it. All right, next slide. Okay, this one's a quiz. This one's a quiz. Show me what you know.
I finished.
Same.
I finished it right off the bat. I done told.
Okay. You should be paced with me. Nobody should be moving through the slides on their own. Good, Joseph. 4 out of 4. See those answers popping up?
Mrs. McNabb, how do we know if we get them right or wrong?
When we move through the slide, you'll see it.
Okay.
All right, nice job. Okay, what does quote accurately mean? What does quote accurately mean? Type those answers in there. Think about our vocabulary review the last 2 days. What do we mean when we say quote accurately? Think about your punctuation. Good, Kylie. Quote accurately from a text when explaining what the text says explicitly.
Can I?
When drawing an inference. Good. Paul, you're citing something. Good. Right from the text. Joseph, I like how you did the comma and the quote to show me. Good. Yeah, put your quotation marks in the right spot. Nice, Kibby. Good punctuation and capitalizing your letters. Tyson, good job. Infer and cite your evidence. Evidence from the text. Quote accurately means to write something from the text explicitly to cite.
Miss McNabb,
Yes.
can I go to the bathroom?
Yes, go ahead. Good. A strong quote that supports your work. Nice job. Awesome. You guys are doing a fabulous job today. All right, next question. What does explicitly mean? So we have accurately and explicitly mean. What does explicitly mean? We talked about this a lot the last 2 days. An explicit quote. Those answers typed in there. Good, Jackson. It is from the text. From the text. Clearly stated, Kibby. Good, Rylan. It means it's evidence for your answer directly from the text. Directly from the text. Word for word. Logan H. Logan H. Awesome. Word for word. Explicitly. Clearly stated. Good. Exactly from your text and clear to understand. Nice, Sayla. Perfect. Manny, I like how you put the quotation marks around explicitly. Good job. Clearly stated from the text. Good. Awesome. You guys are doing an awesome job today. All right. Text evidence sentence starters. Name as many sentence starters as you can think of that you would use before your quote. Remember, you need a sentence starter so the reader knows where you got that. Where did it come from? The text said, the text stated, the text states, based on what I read. Good, the text said, according to the text. Good. You guys have all those lists on the slides that we've reviewed the last 2 days that you guys can go back to. Don't forget to use those resources if you need them. The author stated, I can infer that from the text I have read. The text states on page blank. Good, Tyler. According to the text. Based on the article. Nice picture, Rylan. I like that. Ooh, Dominic, I like how you did the text said, comma, space, quote. Perfect. That's exactly how you need to set it up. The text clearly states. Good one, Kibby. Emily, one example from the text, comma, space, quote. Love it. Awesome. All right, next slide. Quiz again. Show me what you know. Show me what you know. I see answers popping up. Joseph Tyson, good. Sylvia, perfection. All right, we got a couple on the last question, then we're gonna move forward. All right. All right, which of the following is an explicit quote from the text below? Okay, so read the text about Benny didn't like going to his older brother Mark's football games. Which quote is accurately quoted from the text? Explicit quote from the text. Which one? Don't forget to look for the structure of the sentence. Okay? You're looking for it to be accurate and explicit. Does anybody recognize where this passage came from? Yeah? Where did it come from?
Like self-assignment.
Yeah, from yesterday's assignment. Awesome. Good. All right, next question. Same thing. Which sentence explicitly quotes from the following passage? Read the passage and look for the sentence that is an explicit, accurate quote from that passage. See lots of dots popping up. Zach, Isaac, Letty, and McKenna. I think you're the last ones to finish that one. All right, can you see those results? Awesome. All right, go ahead and finish this off. I think you can push it out to me, and then I'm going to pull up our next activity and share with you. I don't want you to open anything yet. I just want to discuss it first. So don't open anything else yet. All right, let me share my screen with you. All right, so I said earlier, I was looking back through everything yesterday, and I noticed that a lot of us are forgetting our quote, our explicit quote, okay? So you're answering, you're restating, you're answering, and you're giving me evidence from the text, but it's not quoted, and you don't have that sentence starter. So today I wanted to start with a little quick activity. So I created a sentence with a quote. so that I could show you guys the proper setup again. So you guys could visually see exactly what we're looking for when we say to quote something, okay? So you're gonna have your sentence starter. So my example, according to the text, comma. Okay, right after that sentence starter, you need to have that comma. According to the text, comma, a space, and then the beginning quotation marks. Beginning quotation marks. Then I put today, green sea turtles are classified as an endangered species, as it is our duty to ensure that these turtles are around for future generations. Does anybody recognize where this one's from? Emery, we talked about this one together yesterday. Okay, then you need your ending punctuation and your ending quotation marks. Okay, every single time you're quoting something from a text, it should be set up just like this. Okay, you can't forget to have your punctuation, your commas, your ending period. Okay, make sure your capitalizations are correct. And most important, you need to make sure that whatever you're typing as your quote is word for word from your text. Okay, remember explicitly. I take the words right out of my text. And the reason you do those quotation marks is so that we know that you're quoting somebody else. If you just wrote it in there and you didn't give me quotation marks, essentially you're taking somebody else's work and using it as your own. Those quotation marks are important to let us know that that is somebody else's work. Okay, so this is exactly how you need to be setting up your sentences. You have access to this in the Google Classroom all the time. So if you forget, go back and take a look at it. Russell, you have a question?
Yeah, I was about to say that the text doesn't have specifically where it is.
Well, what do you mean, like a page number or a paragraph?
Like a certain page number or paragraph it's in.
Okay, so you don't have to put that unless you put your sentence starter says on page 1, paragraph 3, then you would need it. But I just used according to the text, which is okay. You can do either way. So if you want to tell us what page and paragraph, that's a perfect sentence starter, but it's an option. All right, so here's what you're going to do. You guys are going to go into this slide and you guys are going to read a passage and you are going to pick any sentence that you want. This is simply for you to practice setting up your sentences. Okay, you're going to go into this box. Oops, I got to exit out so I can show you. You're going to go into this box and you're going to type whatever sentence you choose from that passage, but you're going to use a sentence starter. You're going to use a comma, a beginning quote, the explicit quote from this passage, the ending punctuation, and your ending quote. So I want you to pick whichever one you want and type it in here. You're going to drag and drop the stars over to let me know that you have completed all those pieces that you need to have the correct sentence set up. Okay, there's only 4 of them. This is just for you to practice setting up those sentences. Kylie, question.
Are we going to go into breakout room for this?
Nope, we're just going to do this right now, right here. It won't take too long. All right, so I'm going to go look at the doc. I should see everybody's little bubbles in the document at this point. Remember, you only need to do one sentence. It just needs to be one sentence, whichever sentence you choose. You're just practicing setting up those sentences using quotations. All right. Checking for bubbles in your docs. Zach, are you pulling it up, bud? Zach, yours says turned in. I'm going to return that to you. Okay, because you haven't done anything on it. You gotta do the work. When you do finish the 4 slides, you do need to turn it in. Don't turn it in to me until they're all done.
You only do 4, not 5?
There's only 4 to do. Aiden, I need you to get into your slides, bud.
Mrs. McNabb, do we still have to write about what the paragraph is about?
All I want you to do is practice quoting. You don't need to do your restate. There's no question. It's just practicing typing your quotes.
Okay.
Okay, just simply practicing typing those quotes. I don't need to see anything else. Emily, go ahead.
Are we writing it from the story or are we making it up?
No, each slide has a little passage in it. You just pick a sentence from that passage.
Miss McNabb, does it have to be in stars in all the boxes?
Yep, you drag and drop a star to each little box. There's 1 star per box. Check off those pieces. I want you guys to get in the habit of checking off those pieces to make sure you did them. Did I do my sentence starter? Yes. Did I have my comma? Yep. Do I have my quote? Yep. Okay, check those off. It'll help you make sure you're not missing any of those important pieces.
Miss McNabb, does
Yes.
it have to be a specific quote?
It has to be a sentence from the passage on the slide. Any sentence from the passage.
Sentence
Yep.
from the passage.
Yep. Because that way I can see if you are understanding what I mean by word for word. Okay, this is for you to practice word for word. Okay, Coral, good. You got started. Dominic, perfect. According to the text, it said, comma, space, quote. Good.
Something just happened and I got kicked out.
Okay, just try to get back in. Nice, Dominic. When you're done, go ahead and turn them in. Emery, look at that. It's like you absorbed everything we talked about overnight. Good job. Nice work.
Aren't East and West supposed to be capitalized?
Not necessarily. Emily, good job. Good. Good.
Miss McNabb,
Yeah.
I had a question for explicit quote.
Okay.
Like, I've been getting confused for the last couple days for, like, what that means.
Okay. So tell me what you think it means. What do you think it means when you hear
you're
it?
taking something from the text and putting it in your writing?
100%. So you're taking something from the text and you're putting it in your writing. And to make it explicit, how are you taking it from the text?
Word by word?
Yep. You're exactly right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
What does the ending quote mean? Do I have to write another quote from the message?
So remember, just like when we do dialogue, when somebody starts talking, you quote, and when someone ends it, they quote. So beginning of your sentence and the end of your sentence. So you need quotations at the start and the finish.
Can you do slide 3 once you finish slide 2?
You should do all 4 slides and then turn them in. Kylie, if you need to look at the first slide for a refresher, look at that slide. Look at that slide to help you. Jackson, good job. So remember, Jackson, you'll have a space between your comma and your quote, but no space between your quote and the start of your sentence.
So now on the third slide, it says biome. Like, what does that mean? The largest biome.
The third slide. The sunflower is the perfect flower of September. Sunflowers like to bloom in late summer and early fall. They like to soak up the sun and grow. This slide? Slide 3?
The fourth one.
Oh, fourth slide.
The fourth one.
Let's see. That's a good question. I don't know that word. Let me look it up.
Biomes means like a forest, a biome, rainforest biome.
Perfect. Awesome. That makes sense. Thank you for clarifying that, because it is talking about a rainforest. So perfect. Thank you for clarifying that. Good. Nice, Paul. Isaac, where are you at, dude? You're not in your slides yet. Isaac, jump in those slides and get started. You're going to have to finish it independently later. It's okay, bud. Just get into them and get started now. Give you about 4 more minutes to finish up. Okay, Zach. Where are you at? I can't find you on my screen. Okay, Zach, make sure you're using that sentence starter. So you have your quote, but you don't have a sentence starter. So you need to have, like, according to the text, or the text states, and then comma, space, and then start your quote. Good. Look at those sentence starters on the top left of each slide as an idea. Perfect. The author describes. Good. Good, Zach.
And do you have to use one of the bullet point things, or are those just examples?
Those are just examples. Those are just examples. Isaac, you need to go to the classroom, and you need to go at 8:30. It says Wednesday Nearpod review / race review. It's in there. The slides are in there. It says Wednesday explicit quote practice under language arts at 8:30. Good, Nathan. Don't forget that comma, according to the text, comma, space, quote. Good, thanks, Isaac. Don't forget that comma after according to the text. Perfect. Thank you for adding that. All right, I'm going to give you 2 more minutes, and then if you haven't finished, you can finish it up during your independent time this afternoon. Good, Haley. Okay, good, Manny. Make sure you're taking the words exactly as it's stated in the paragraph. So tropical rainforests. Oh, you're deleting. Okay, tropical rainforests reach very hot temperatures, comma. So you're taking it exactly as it says it right here. Word for word. There you go. Good. Good, good. If you finished, go ahead and turn it in. If you haven't, I'm going to give you 1 more minute and then we're going to move on. You guys are doing a great job though. Super proud of you today. Logan H, make sure your comma goes after your sentence starter, then space, then quote. So you have your comma in between your quote and your evidence. You need to move that comma over after that.
Okay.
Good.
I have a den at the go by.
Yes, if you have done, now is your time to go.
Do we just do the first one?
No, you're supposed to do all of them, all 4 of them. All right, so finish the sentence you're writing. If you're done, turn them in. If you're not, go ahead and just leave it there. You're going to finish it this afternoon, but it is due today. It does need to be finished today. Okay, and I want you to remember that you have that slide 1 that shows you exactly how a sentence should be structured. So when you're doing your writing, if you forget or you have a question, go back to this slide and look at it. It will always be in the classroom for you to have as a reference if you need it. Okay, so you can refresh your brain. All right, go ahead and pause what you're doing with that. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to review one thing before we move into our activity for Den. So we've been talking a lot about race. We've been talking a lot about race. And you guys are pretty familiar with it, but I wanted just to review before we jump into this next activity, okay? So we've mastered our R component of our race. Uh-oh, what happened to my slides? There we go. It's very slow today. Okay, so we've worked really hard so far this year on our restate and our answer portion of race, okay? I did notice a couple people yesterday were leaving out your answer. You were giving me a good restate and then you were going right into your quote. Okay, so it's really important to have that answer in there. You restate and you answer, okay? Then you're gonna move into that giving examples from the text, okay, with that C. So what we just practiced is where you need to apply it in your C for your race. Give me that explicit quote from the text that tells me that I know your answer is legit. You know what you're talking about, right? You got that from the text. The text said this, so that answer is right, okay? The author told me, or page 1, any of those sentence starters. And then your E, your explain. Explain how your evidence supports your answer. This shows that, this means, okay? Tell me, what does it mean? What does that mean? How does that quote support what you told me? If you told me that sunflowers are the best flower in September and you gave me a quote that from the text that said that, show me how. How does that related? How is the quote you picked related to sunflowers being the best flower in September? Okay. All right. We're going to watch this quick video on race before we jump into our activity.
This video will teach you the race strategy. The R stands for restate the question. Then the A stands for answer the question. The C stands for cite text evidence, and the E stands for explain with examples. Answer the question below. Use evidence from the text to support your answer. Why is the Grand Canyon an attractive place to tourists? We will now use the race strategy to answer this question. The R stands for restate the question, and parents like to restate what you say. So that's exactly what we're going to do. First, we have to take out the question words. Now we can go ahead and re-say it. The Grand Canyon is an attractive place to tourists.
Okay, I'm going to back that up for 2 seconds. Remember what we talked about yesterday where I said, take as many words as you can from the question and use them in your restate. We talked about this a lot a couple weeks back too. See how she removed the why is? Just like I did yesterday when I was giving you that example. Read it and see if you can just remove a few words and keep the rest of it as your restate. Get as many words as you can from the question in your restate. You don't want to forget to put the Grand Canyon, for example. Okay, we need to know what you're talking about. If the Grand Canyon is an attractive place for tourists, but you forget Grand Canyon, we don't know that Grand Canyon is what is attractive to tourists. Yes? Yeah, I agree. I understand. I'm with you. Okay. Use as many words as you can from the question.
To tourists. Now, when someone asks you a question, you answer it. So that's exactly what the A stands for. Answer the question. Remember, the question is, why is the Grand Canyon an attractive place to tourists? We can answer that by saying, it is an attractive place to tourists because they can take boat rides, hike, and look at many things. Now we have to work on our C. C stands for cite text evidence. We have to prove that what we said above is true by citing the text. In the text, A Natural Beauty, it states, they take boat rides down the Colorado River. Also, it states, people come from all around the world to hike the dusty trails.
Okay, look at the quotation marks and the commas, okay? Don't forget, you need all those important pieces in your citation, okay? In the text, A Natural Beauty, so that's her title. It states, comma, space, quote. They take boat rides down the Colorado River, period, end quote. Also, comma, it states, comma, quote, people come from around the world to hike the dusty trails, period, end quote. Okay, so when we say accurately, we're accurately using all of our components. Explicitly, we're using word for word from our text. Word for word from our text.
The E stands for explain. For this one, we are going to explain by giving a text-to-text connection or example. For example, I read another text about the Grand Canyon, and I learned that tourists take pictures in front of the cliffs. Now we can put it all together. We restated our question. We answered our question completely. We cited text evidence from the story we read, and we explained by giving a text-to-text example. Lastly, you will put your response to text all together into one paragraph. This paragraph will include your restating of the question, your answer, your evidence from the text, and explanation. Remember, when you turn it in, it will...
Okay, see how this is a perfectly structured paragraph? Restate, answer, cite, explain. This is exactly how your paragraph should look when you guys work on that paper that you're going to start writing tomorrow. This is a perfect paragraph using every component you need, okay, to meet what we're looking for. If you need to watch this again at any point, it's still going to be here for you. Use all these resources that we've given you this week, okay, to refresh if you need a refresher.
Just be one color, which most likely will be black, or will be written out in pencil.
All right. I want you guys quickly stand up and give me 5 jumping jacks because I'm seeing lots of spinning in chairs, twirling hair. Everybody stand up. Stretch your bodies. Quickly go. 5 jumping jacks. Go, go, go. Get some energy out. I can see lots of twirling and whirling. Nathan, jumping jacks. Let's go. All right. Shake your wiggles out. I know that sometimes it's hard to keep that focus on this computer screen. Just sometimes you got to get up and stretch that body. All right. Here is what we are going to be doing now. You are going to go into breakout groups, all right? For your den, okay, you're going to, there's an article in here, responsible citizen article. You guys are going to round robin read in your groups this article, okay? The first time you're going to read it, you're just going to read it to have fun with it, okay? Take pieces of it. Get curious about it. I wonder what it does mean to be a responsible citizen, okay? I'm going to put you in your groups really fast. I want you to put your number in front of your name as far as who's reading first, and I'm going to open the rooms and close the rooms. You got 1 minute to organize who's reading first and last, and then I'm bringing you back.
How do we know who the leader is?
Let's see. Room 1, your leader. You guys pick the leaders today. It's fine. Paul, jump into that room, bud.
Hello.
They really don't need leaders today because they're just reading and then coming back.
What are you guys supposed to be doing? No?
So we can have.
Quickly.
I'll be 1.
There you go.
Tyler, you can be 2.
You're picking
Haley,
leaders and
you'll
numbers.
be
Let's
3.
get it going.
I'm a 4. Lila 5.
Perfect. That's exactly what needs to happen. Jump in. Who's reading when? That's it.
What are you guys supposed to be doing? Okay, we've got a 5, we've got a 2, we've got a 1. One, 2. Haley, do you have a number, sweetie?
Was it supposed to kick us out?
Yep.
Go ahead and join back to me now.
Yep.
We would do it like a competition, like.
I can't use every piece of the video anyway, so
True.
I'm really hoping that I got something out of the beginning.
Yeah.
Because even the slides when they were working there, practicing their sentences, that shows ed tech because I can see them and I'm like, oh, you need to fix that.
Yeah, and you in it.
Yeah. All right, let me go back to sharing my screen. Gotta wait 1 more second for people to finish jumping back.
But you're videoing too.
1 second. Okay, really quick. You guys, that should not take more.
You're muted.
Oh. Thank you. Guys, that should not take more than 30 seconds. So today we're only doing reading in our breakout groups. That's why I didn't go with having group leaders, because you guys should be able to jump in. Like Tyson was like, I'll be 1, you be 2, I'll be 3, you be 4. Done. That's it. Okay, we've done this every day. So that needs to happen quickly because we're going to end up with a lot of work to do independently if we don't work efficiently. All right, so here's what you're doing. You're going to read this article on being a responsible citizen. Okay, the first time you read it, you're just reading it. Now, the second time you read it, you're going to be highlighting important information that can be used to answer the questions and be used as evidence to support. All right, here we go. This is our assignment. This is the day 1 of working on a graphic organizer that you're going to use to write a paper starting tomorrow. Okay, complete the graphic organizer below. A good graphic organizer will make your writing your paper a breeze. Read the questions before your second read to support you in identifying your answers and supporting evidence. Read to enjoy, then go back and reread it. Always, always, always read your questions before you read it the second time so you can identify pieces of the text that you need to support. Go back to your article and highlight the text evidence that supports the inference you made. Complete the graphic organizer below that you will be submitting to me by the end of the day today. You will use this organizer to write your final paper, so be sure to get as much detail as you can. Okay, think about the video we just watched. This is set up exactly like that video. Give me your restate, type your answer in this box, use your quote in this box, your text or your explanation in this box. There are 2 questions. Okay, why is it important to give service to our country? What is the difference between duties and responsibilities? Give specific examples. That text has specific examples. What is an important responsibility to you and why? Okay, so you are able to, you each have a copy of this article. I retyped it so that you do have the ability to highlight in this article. So highlighting should not be an issue. All right, really quick, I'm going to show you what I'm looking for when I'm looking through all your graphic organizers tonight. Okay, this is all in the Google Classroom that you can look at. Okay, so you need to be able to appropriately restate, answer the question, choose accurate evidence to quote from the text, and explain how your text evidence supports your answer. That is what I am looking for. All right, I'm going to open those breakout rooms. Go ahead and get started on that reading. When you finish the article with your group, drop back in here and you will jump right into getting started on that graphic organizer. Okay, any questions? I know that's a lot and it sounds like a lot. Ask me if you need. Kylie?
So are we going to highlight today and everything
Yep.
like that, or are we just reading?
You read it with your group and then you read it independently and highlight. Emery?
How about citizenship reading?
Okay, let me look.
Yeah, same with Emery. I don't have my own. It's on. It says view only for me. So should I just make a copy?
Make a copy. Yeah, make a copy. I'll send out a tell your group and then I'll send out a alert.
I didn't get a breakout room invitation.
That's weird. I have you in a room. See, where do I have you? Selah, you are in. Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. So I'm going to move you out of a room and or to a different room and then move you again. So don't go yet. Don't go yet. All right, now go ahead and go. You guys are going to need to make a copy of the article to highlight. I forgot to tell you that.
Okay.
All right, whoever's number 1 should be reading.
Tyson isn't in our group anymore. He was supposed to be.
What the heck? Hold on. What group is this? Room 2?
Room 1.
All right, there you go. Sorry, Tyson, I put you in the wrong spot. All right, get started. Get started.
They read and are helping others in the community. All of these make up shared work of a democracy.
Democracy. Make sure you, before you guys can highlight, you're going to need to make a copy. I forgot to tell you that.
Oh.
So before you go back and read and highlight, make a copy of the article. All right.
The word democracy
by our government. And because we are a republic nation, we can elect the person that serves us. You can even serve as a president if the American people elect you. How extraordinary, sir, yes, sir.
Good. Before you guys can highlight, make a copy of the article. I forgot to tell you guys that.
Already did that.
Perfect. You guys are so smart.
Wait, so we have to copy it so we can highlight it too?
Yeah, remember, after your first read, you're going to be highlighting, but you need to make a copy of it first.
Are we just reading today?
You're just reading for now. Remember, read it and then go back to the main room when you guys are done reading.
Oh, okay.
Okay, keep going.
Land and boat.
Holly, your turn.
They keep our oceans and seas safe. They work on aircraft.
The word democracy comes from the Greek words demos and kratos. Together, these words mean ruled by the people. As Americans, we have a say in the decisions made our government. And because we are a republic nation, we can elect the people that serve us. You can even serve as a president if the American people elect you. How extraordinary.
Good. Democracy. Good.
Saying yes to the armed forces is a great way to serve your country. There are survival branches in the U.S. military that you can join. Believe in or in helping others in your community. All of these make up the shared democracy.
The word democracy comes from the Greek words demos and kratos. Together, these words mean ruled by the people. As Americans, we have a say in decisions made by our government. And because we are a republic nation, we can elect the people that serve us. You can even serve as a president if the American people elect you. How extraordinary.
Saying yes to the armed forces is a great way to
Commit yourself to the noble struggle for equal rights. You will make a better person of yourself, a greater nation of your country, a finer world to live in. As an American citizen, you are protected by the United States Constitution's Bill of Rights. It is also your responsibility to respect and protect the rights of others around you. Throughout our history, some Americans have not always been treated fairly. In many cases, responsible citizens
better person of yourself, a greater nation of your country, a finer world to live in. As American citizens, you are protected by the United States Constitution, Bills of Rights. It is also your responsibility to respect and protect the other rights of the other
Nanny, your turn.
Alright. Hold up, I had to say something to my sister. Where were we?
The second paragraph, it's your right throughout our history.
Throughout our history, some Americans have not always been treated fairly. In many cases, responsible citizens have stood up for these and their rights by doing these. These citizens are able to make major changes in our government. For example, the Civil Rights Act in
To get this law passed, many brave Americans engaged in peaceful protests. They worked hard to inculcate their community about the problem of discrimination, and they voted for people who promised to make a needed change.
Our county is great when everyone works together for the common good. You can follow the footsteps of responsible Americans by asking yourself this: what can I do for my country?
Okay, remember, when you guys finish, you're going to go open that graphic organizer, read the questions that you're going to be writing about, then go back to the article and find that text evidence and highlight it and start working on your graphic organizer, okay? You guys are going to go back to the main room and do that independently.
Yeah. We have to do a graphic organizer.
Yeah, I showed you.
That's gonna be fun.
No, you've got this.
Remember yesterday we had computer?
Yeah.
Today we have music at 10:50.
That's okay. You're going to finish it in your independent time. Joseph, you are so smart. You are so smart. You got to give yourself some credit and allow yourself time to slow down a little bit, because you have so much potential, my friend. All right, go back to that main room.
Okay, do I go to
So just click leave, just leave room, and then I'll refresh your memory on all the instructions with everybody else. Okay. Okay, remember, after your group read it, you're going to go back to the Google Classroom. You're going to open the graphic organizer, read the questions that you're going to be writing about, then go back to your article, reread and highlight. Then you're going to start filling out that graphic organizer. Okay, so independently read the questions, go back to the story and highlight. Make sure you make a copy of the story if you haven't already, and start filling out that graphic organizer.
You open graphic organizer, questions you're going to be writing about, and go back to your highlight. Then you go independently back to the text, the story, and highlight, and make a copy. Ready?
Did we go back to our breakout rooms?
Nope. Your breakout rooms was to do the first read. Now you're doing the second read independently.
Wait, second read?
Yep. Remember, you have to go to the graphic organizer, read the questions, then go back and read and highlight as you read. Okay, remember your first read is always reading to just enjoy, and then you go back to read for understanding. What?
Mine is really bad. It's not letting me type. It keeps on saying reconnected.
Okay.
Reconnecting.
I
All
have
right.
a question.
Do the best you can, Jackson. If you have to restart your computer after and do it again, that's okay. Yes,
I have a
Rylan.
question.
Go ahead, Rylan.
It's like at the beginning, it says like John F. Kennedy, 36th president, and then like later in the article it says he was the 35th president.
Okay, so he got elected. I'm pretty sure. Let me check. I have a poster of the president.
I don't see. Oh, there we go. President was sworn in as the 35th. Well, you know what? I had to retype this whole article.
He was the 35th president, but he died his second year because someone shot him. So people thought he was going to be the 36th president. That's what I think. But he was the 35th president.
I'll go back and look at I had to retype this whole article in order for you guys to be able to highlight, so it could have been a typo on my end, right, Lynn? All right, so everybody should have their graphic organizer open and their article open, and you should be working on both rereading and highlighting, and then starting your graphic organizer.
Can we do the both of them?
Yes. Okay, let me check on the rooms that are still open. I'll be right back.
Okay, now we're done. I think we can go back up.
Yeah, if you finished reading, what you're going to do is go back to the main room. You're going to open the graphic organizer, read the questions, go back to the article to reread, and highlight as you read the evidence you can use to help you answer those questions, and then fill out your graphic organizer. All right, head back to the main room to work on that.
Mrs. Now, so
Yeah.
we just finished reading the copy. So Nathan pointed out to us that didn't you say that we have to read it one more time independently?
Yeah, so what you're going to do,
Okay.
what you're going to do now is you're going to open the graphic organizer. You're going to read the question.
Go back into
Hold on. You're going to read the questions on the graphic organizer. Hold on, Kylie, 1 second, babe. You're going to read the questions on the graphic organizer. Then you're going to go back to the article and highlight as you read the evidence you can use to help you answer those questions. And then you're going to start filling out your graphic organizer.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yep. So you guys can head back to the main room to work on that independently.
Are we doing row 1 or all the rows?
What do you mean? You're filling all of it out. There's 2 questions and you're filling it out for both.
Wait, so you said when we so since we're doing the graphic organizer, you said go back to the main room and do it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No.
Make sure you're muted so it's not too noisy for everybody.
Are we supposed to do this graphic organizer?
All right, let me share my screen and do this one more time. I've given the directions several times, but I want to make sure everybody's truly understanding. All right, so you guys read the article in your breakout groups 1 time. Yes? Everybody made a copy of the article. Yes? Yes? Okay. Then what you were doing is coming back here. You're opening your graphic organizer. I always recommend rereading the instructions. You're reading the 2 questions. Prompt 1, why is it important to give service to our country? And prompt 2, what is the difference between duties and responsibilities? Give specific examples. What is important responsibility to you and why? Okay, that is you inferring what is important to you based on what you read. Then you're going back to the article for a second read independently. As you're reading, you're going to highlight what you think you could use to support your answers in your graphic organizer. So if I think it could also mean protesting for a cause is something I want to use, I'm going to highlight it. Okay? That is what you should be doing. Then you're going to go back and fill out your graphic organizer. Restate your question. Why is it important to give service to our country? It is important to give service to our country because blah, blah, blah. Your answer. Okay, you only have a few minutes left in Zoom, so most of this is going to be what you're doing for homework. There is no math homework. This will be what you're going to have to do this afternoon. This has to be turned in today so we can move forward tomorrow. All right, anybody have any questions, or are we all clear on what we're doing? You are completing both graphic organizers for the questions. Your R, your A, your C, your E. It's really a matter of about 8 sentences. Okay? If you forget how to do your citations or anything else, you need to go back to the Google Classroom and look at the resources we have in here that can help you. They're all under here. Your video on your race, that was a very, very good example of how to set up your paragraph. All right, everybody clear? Give me my, I got you, I'm 100% clear. If you're not, you need to ask your questions now. All right.
Okay, 1 second. Actually, I can't copy the text because it says it's not mine, so I'm not.
You have to make a copy. Go to File and make a copy of the entire presentation.
File, make a copy. Everybody needs to make a copy of the article so you have your own copy to annotate on. Once you make that copy, you can make side notes, you can highlight, however you choose to do it. You are going to submit your article when you submit your graphic organizer, so I can check for those highlights. So be sure to get both of those things done. I promise you, the graphic organizer will make writing your paper so much easier. So take that time on the graphic organizer. Dominic, do you have a question? Or are you just spinning your hand around?